I'm not used to this.
So,
it was espresso too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I gave Cole espresso today. Because for me personally, coffee makes my stomach hurt a lot, but espresso makes me feel better and I feel energy. So that's why I just drank espresso. And so that's what Cole had today.
Yeah, well, my stomach hurts from coffee too. And I said, I'm never going to try coffee again. And then this morning I was like, maybe I should try coffee. So she made me some espresso with a little bit of foam on top too.
Yeah, it was.
Did I speak that really fast?
You did. Your stomach feel fine?
It feels all right, but my head is like...
Well, we'll see how this video goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Today, we're going to talk to you about why my legs are so thick with the triple C on the end.
Triple C.
Triple, not a double C. Triple C. Where should we start?
Okay, well... We do get a lot of comments, well, I've seen a lot of comments talking about Cole's legs, like why are Cole's legs so thick, why aren't they atrophied? So we finally decided to do a video. I mean, to be frank, Cole's legs are thicker than mine.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. You got some nice legs though. But before we go into it, we just want to put a preface on it just to say everybody is very different when it comes to spinal cord injuries. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my legs are a little bit thicker and we'll kind of talk about why we think that is. But with different pairs, different quads, everybody has a different experience and everybody's body reacts differently. So this is just my experience.
Yes.
There are three reasons that we feel my legs are still big. And we'll break down all three. You want to hit the first one?
Yeah, I'll hit the first one. So the first reason we think Cole's legs are on the thicker side is due to exercise. So from the beginning, Cole has always exercised. He does a lot of the FES bike, so y'all have seen that in a video before. Yep. It's also behind me. Yep. A light just turned on.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
We need to replace these lights. Yeah. They keep coming in and out.
So the first reason is exercise. Lately, we've been doing the standing frame, which is also good for his legs. He also has
bone density and stuff.
Yes, bone density. He also has done the exoskeleton. So with exercise, he is constantly moving those muscles. He's constantly firing signals to those muscles, causing them to contract.
And if you haven't seen one of the previous videos where we explained what an FES bike does, you're probably wondering why it would help my muscles stay big because I'm not using my muscles. Well, the FES bike shocks the muscles into contracting through electrical signals. And that's how they are built.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. So the FES bike is one big thing. Standing frame is another. The exoskeleton is another. And those are the three really big things that continue to make his muscles contract, to put pressure through his bones and his joints, keeping those part of his that part of his body healthy, preventing osteoporosis and muscle atrophy.
And heterotrophic ossification, which is when your joints are so immobilized for so long that they become like calcified, and instead of there being a joint where like the bone can move around in it, it just becomes stuck and then you can't really move it. You don't want that to happen because when that does happen, wow, I just got really lightheaded. I think it's from the coffee.
Really? You good?
Okay, I'm back. When it does become calcified like that, they literally have to go in and like cut them apart. And then that's just a big problem that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
HO is terrible.
Terrible. We also do a lot of stretching, which is good for Cole's joints and muscles as well. So we're constantly moving his muscle, whether it's active range, well, it's always active range of motion to be frank, but it's good to move his muscles and keep those leg muscles strong. And people constantly comment about me sitting on his lap. And one, I don't do that for a prolonged period of time. It is very short. And I'm very careful when I sit on his lap not to...
Super gentle.
Yeah, super gentle, because not only is it his legs, there are also other things in that area that I don't want to,
damage.
Yes.
Important. We need those for later.
Yes, and so I always make sure that I'm being careful, but also at the same time, I am putting weight through his legs, and that is a good thing to put weight through his legs. And of course, you don't want to put too much, but it's, it's causing his body to... I
know what you're saying. I don't know if there's a word to describe it, but it's like with a car. You don't want your car to sit in the driveway for a month unused because then things are going to start falling apart and rubber lines are going to start eroding. So what you want to do is use it. Your body, that's how we evolved to be used. So when you're not using it, it starts just falling apart, atrophying, becoming softer. It's good to have some contacts, to have some pressure and weight on.
But of course, not prolonged pressure and not a lot of pressure, but just enough for his body to realize, oh, there's something being pushed through my bones and through my legs and blah, blah, blah. Let me stay strong. But yeah.
Yeah, so in moderation, it's definitely a good thing. All right, so now the second way we think that my legs are retaining some of their mass is through my spasticity. Very common with spinal cord injuries are muscle spasms. These are completely involuntary. What it is just this contraction of the muscles. Nobody knows exactly why muscle spasms occur, or if people do know it. It hasn't been fully explained to me yet. Part of my spinal cord underneath my injury site is totally fine. So it functions properly. What the issue is I can't connect it to my brain because there's this injury cutting it off. It's like snapping an extension cord, or cutting it in half. Both sides are fine, but there's no connection. So what that means is my spinal cord can operate my legs and stuff, it just doesn't get the signals. But if there's any sort of stimulation or something that might cause the muscles to think something's happening, then they start spasming. And it's involuntary, but it's great for someone like me because those muscle contractions are helping retain a lot of that mass.
So yes, that is another way or another reason we think that Cole's legs are so thick.
Yeah.
And he still has mass and muscle mass because of the constant spazzing. I mean, he spazzes all day long, and especially in the morning after sleeping in a certain position all night long. When I straighten his legs out in the morning, I mean, he almost kneed himself in the face the other day. That's how intense his spasms are.
I had to dodge it like the Matrix. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, and he's almost kneed me in the face, so they're pretty violent in the morning.
And especially if I'm sitting still for a really long time and then I move, I get some pretty violent ones. Like when I'm editing and I'm just sitting at the computer for hours, sometimes my legs will build up this really big spasm and then boom, they'll all release at once. And my legs have actually jumped up and hit the bottom of the table before. And my whole table like jumps a little bit. I'm like, whoa. It was a problem at the old desk.
It was. Like Cole would roll out from under the desk and he would have scrapes. His knees would be bleeding. And so this time we got a desk that is flat. So he's not kneeing the corner of anything and he's just kind of hitting it. We might put pads on the bottom of it to really protect him because...
Might need to put on like the skateboard knee pads while I edit.
Seriously? I mean, I don't think that's a terrible idea.
I know. Well, it would be scary when I would roll out and I would see like a scrape or something because I can't feel my knee, so I didn't even know that happened. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I need a Band-Aid.
Yeah, not okay.
No. Actually though, in the beginning, right after my injury, I would take a lot of medicine to try to suppress my spasms. I think they may have been a little more violent in those days, but what it was doing to me was completely removing all spasms and also just making me really drowsy. I ended up getting rid of all of them so that I wouldn't be so drowsy, and the spasms came back, and I'm glad that I did that because I think if I hadn't made that decision, my legs probably would be much more atrophied if I had been constantly taking that medicine. You know? So I'm kind of glad that I have some spasms, and they're not so violent that it's a nuisance, but strong enough to keep my legs big.
Exactly.
That's good.
And the last thing that we think makes Cole's legs thicker is his genetics, or are his genetics. Cole takes a lot after his dad, and your dad's side of the family, right? When it comes to like thickness and stuff. So even before Cole's injury, if you see pictures, like he had some meat on his legs and his arms. And I think that he still has that. Like he still has that bone structure to just be a little thicker.
Right. I think, I'm just predisposed to have bigger legs. Like my dad has some tree trunk thighs. It's crazy. That dude is like a truck.
He's strong. His legs are strong.
So I think just naturally I'm fortunate and blessed to have genetics that are also helping me on this front because I don't know, maybe if we were super skinny my legs would be super skinny too. And I'm glad that I've got a little meat so Charisma can sit on my lap and things like that.
I mean, it's just like it protects your legs from just being injured. So him kneeing stuff would probably be much worse if he didn't have so much meat on his legs. I feel like he would be prone to breaking something more often. Well, you'd be prone to just breaking something in general. Cole's never broken a bone in his legs, which is really good, and I think that
post-injury, before I had,
post-injury, and I think, the muscle around his legs attributes to that, and the reason that he hasn't broken anything.
It makes life much easier.
So we just want to remind you all that, everyone is different, every spinal cord injury is different, and just because someone has thicker legs versus someone who has smaller legs, like it doesn't mean that someone's healthier or less healthy, or someone works out more or works out less. I mean, there are so many factors that attribute to why someone's legs are thicker and smaller. Especially, like, you even know people who don't have a spinal cord injury, able-bodied people. There are people who have thicker legs, and there are people who have thinner legs, you know? So there's a lot of factors that attribute to the size of someone's leg or their body in general.
And I would argue most of those factors are out of your control too.
Yes.
So I'm just happen to be fortunate, you know. But yeah, thick thighs save lives, y'all.
Thick thighs save lives. It saves your legs lives.
It saves my bones lives. Yeah,
that's what it saves.
Yeah. So those are our theories, our 3 theories, and thanks for watching, y'all.
Yeah, hopefully that answers all of your questions about Cole's legs, because a lot of people are very curious.
If you had more questions about my legs, feel free to ask in the comments.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive.
All right.
Bye.
Stay positive and down with the thickness.
Oh my God.